For Ryan, seeing as the next time we talk to him,
I have
he will be
nothing to
seeing
say-
that.
I have nothing to say to him.
I'll kiss. Dude, I'm not Andrew Garfield.
We know you have an ongoing feud with Ryan.
Who?
You know, that guy. What's it gonna take for him to actually be BFFs with you?
Well, I mean, in truth, there was a time in which we.
Something gets overlooked in a lot of the coverage of the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni situation, and I want to address it directly. It is the specific role Ryan Reynolds played, and more importantly, what that role actually tells us about who he is. When you look at the totality of what the documents show, when you read through everything that has been unsealed and everything that has become part of the public record, what you find is not simply a story about calculated tactics and industry power plays. What you find underneath all of that is the story of a husband who believed his wife was being hurt and responded by doing everything at his disposal to protect her. And I want to make the case that this is actually a deeply human thing to do.
Gosling's getting his award. Over here, stealing the thunder, is Andrew Garfield and Ryan Reynolds.
When you won, that there was a kiss between Ryan and Andrew Garfield.
As you're walking.
They did not kiss each other. They did.
Even if some of the specific methods were not ideal, and even if the full picture of what happened on that production was considerably more complicated than what his wife's team was telling him. Let me start by being direct about what the documents show. Ryan Reynolds was genuinely involved. He was involved in creative decisions around the film, despite having no official credit. He was involved in communications with the agency. The circumstances surrounding WME dropping Justin Baldoni as a client are documented in ways that implicate his influence. He was involved in the broader PR and legal strategy in ways that went beyond supporting a spouse from a distance. None of this is meaningfully in dispute. The question is not whether he was involved. The question is what the involvement tells us.
My man crush?
Yeah.
Right here.
Right here. Not even a crush. It's just full.
Which famous actor did I kiss at the 2017 Golden Globes? A. Tom Holland. B. Andrew Garfield. C. Tobey Maguire.
Johnny, honey, I'm scared.
Whoa, there.
Two.
And I think what it tells us, when you read the documented timeline of how this unfolded, is that Ryan was operating from a specific emotional starting point. He was receiving his wife's account of what was happening on the production. He believed that account, and he responded with the instinct to protect her, using whatever resources and connections he had available. Most people who have someone they love telling them they are being hurt in a professional environment will feel something like that instinct. The difference between Ryan Reynolds and most people is that his resources and connections are enormous, and so when he acted on that instinct, the impact was proportionally enormous. Now, does that mean what he did was right? Not necessarily, and I do not want to paper over the specific problems. Using his position at WME to influence what happened to Justin Baldoni as a client represents a significant misuse of the kind of institutional power that comes with being one of the agency's most valuable clients. That is genuinely troubling. The involvement in shaping the public narrative, the participation in a PR campaign against Justin that turned out not to be fully supported by the underlying evidence, that is also genuinely problematic in retrospect. These are real things, and they deserve to be named as such. But there is a meaningful difference between asking whether specific actions were right and asking what the underlying motivation was. And I believe the underlying motivation was love and loyalty to his wife. He thought she was being wronged. He acted to address that. He used what he had. Those are things that most people would understand, even if they would also criticize some of the specific ways the protective instinct was expressed. What this situation has revealed about Ryan Reynolds is more complicated than either his critics or his defenders have fully acknowledged.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? No, I'll take my own. I'll get my own seat. It's fine. We'll do that after.
Be busy doing some stuff, and if yeah, don't give him too much attention. That's why I can't be there. There'll be sun. Happy birthday. Have a great night.
Let the dogs out. Woo, woo, woo. Who let them out? No one knows. No one ever solved that mystery.
The public version of Ryan Reynolds, the charming, self-deprecating guy from the commercials and the Deadpool films, the person who makes jokes at his own expense and seems so comfortable in his own skin, is real. I do not think that is entirely a construction. He is genuinely funny. He is genuinely charming. He is genuinely talented in ways that the business outcomes of his career make difficult to dispute. But the events of the last 18 months have also made visible something else. A person who is extremely capable, extremely strategic, and extremely protective of the people he cares about. That combination, visible warmth and charm sitting on top of considerable strategic depth, is what made him so effective in his business work. The aviation gin positioning, the Mint Mobile sale, the Wrexham documentary, none of those succeed by accident. They require strategic intelligence that is not always visible in the public-facing humor. The issue is that when you direct that same combination at a problem you are experiencing as an emotional one, as a threat to someone you love, you can produce a very forceful response. And that forceful response, while motivated by love, ended up causing real harm to another person and, ultimately, to Ryan's own professional standing. The tools that served him brilliantly in business were not the right tools for this situation. Where things stand for Ryan Reynolds right now is genuinely complicated. His project pipeline is thinner than it has been. The opportunities that were coming in regularly before are not coming in the same way. There are real professional consequences that have followed from his documented involvement.
It's the most similar trait I have to Atlas.
That you don't move your face.
Money and a good time. Is it A, Hugh Jackman? No, because Hugh Jackman wouldn't know a good time if it slapped him across the face.
And yet, I do not think Ryan Reynolds is done. He has real talent. He has real business acumen that exists independently of any specific controversy. He has real charm that people genuinely responded to for years before any of this happened. All of those things are still present. The question is whether a path exists to a public context in which those qualities are once again the primary things people associate with him, rather than the controversy being the dominant frame through which everything he does gets processed. That is a specific and genuinely difficult problem to solve, and the timeline for solving it is not in anyone's control directly. It is the kind of thing that requires sustained effort over a long period, and possibly a project or a moment that gives people a new experience to hold alongside the current one. There is one more thing worth saying about Ryan Reynolds in the context of this entire situation, and I think it matters. Throughout everything, from the beginning of the controversy through the settlement and its aftermath, Ryan Reynolds has not publicly thrown Blake under the bus. He has not distanced himself. He has not given interviews implying she made mistakes he was not part of, or suggesting she went further than he endorsed. He has stood by her. Whatever the internal reality of that marriage, and whatever the private conversations that have happened between them, what has been visible to the outside world is consistent loyalty and consistent support through one of the most publicly difficult periods either of them has faced.
Suddenly this friendship just ended. As the person who tipped me off about this story told me, that Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman all unfollowed Jake Gyllenhaal on Instagram all of a sudden. Interesting that he has these fallouts with other actors, as we talked about before. TJ Miller was one of them, and there's been other people that have said they never wanted to work with Ryan Reynolds again.
Who would win in a battle, Mysterio or Deadpool?
Unanswerable. It's unanswerable. So I can't do it.
You're talking about who is the biggest. It would be Deadpool. He'd win that fight. That's basically the only fight there is, isn't there?
And I think that matters for the overall picture of who he is, even in the context of everything else that happened. Whatever criticisms you can legitimately make about specific tactics, the agency situation, the PR involvement, the methods used, the person underneath those tactics has been consistently present for his wife in a way that is visible and that speaks to something real about his character. You can hold both of those things at the same time, that some of what he did caused harm, and that the underlying impulse driving those actions was something most people would recognize and, at some level, respect. The broader truth this story illuminates is about something that goes beyond Ryan Reynolds specifically. It is about the experience of watching someone you love be hurt and feeling the need to do something about it. Most people do not have Ryan Reynolds' resources. Most people cannot call a major talent agency and alter a client's status. Most people cannot shape coverage in a national publication. But most people have felt the pull of that protective instinct. The feeling that when someone you love is telling you they are being harmed, the right response is to act, not to stand back and evaluate the full picture before committing.
And Ryan Reynolds, who you guys seem like you're good buddies now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
I know everybody.
Like pre-Deadpool. We were like,
you know, he did really good work before Deadpool too. Right?
So I heard Ryan give you quite a compliment yesterday, which was that no one delivers exposition as eloquently as you do in this scene and in this movie.
He's very kind in saying so.
He delivers exposition better than anyone I've ever seen in my life. You make it like entertaining and riveting, all the while looking like a goddamn snack.
Ryan Reynolds acted on that instinct with the specific tools he had available. Some of those actions caused harm they should not have caused. Some of the narrative that was being shaped turned out not to match what the full evidence showed. The cost of all of that has been significant, both to Justin Baldoni and to Ryan's own reputation. None of that is small or should be dismissed. But understanding that the driver was love and loyalty, rather than calculated malice for its own sake, does help make sense of something that can otherwise seem puzzling. How a genuinely intelligent and strategically capable person ends up making choices that, viewed in retrospect, were clearly not the wisest ones available. The answer is that love and loyalty have always had the capacity to lead even very smart people to decisions they would not make from a cooler distance. And that is not a uniquely Ryan Reynolds problem. That is a human one,